Hi everyone, this is May Park. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today I'm going to show you how to combine the images from a few different stamp sets to create a one-layer card with a stamped background. This video features a few card making techniques such as shaped stamping, masking, and copy coloring. I'm a big fan of stamping with small images. When it comes to background stamping, the possibilities are endless with these small images. For today's project, I'm going to use these stamp sets from Pink Fresh Studio. Shine, Let's Celebrate, Simple Joy, Joy and Cheer, and Playful Animal Friends. When it comes to mixing images from different stamp sets, it's important to choose the stamps that have a similar design style or similar thickness of the outline images. For example, these are gift box images from two different stamp sets, but the left image has a more thick outline compared to the image on the right side. So I don't recommend using them together in one card design. I already tested out the placement of my images on a piece of A2 size print paper. You can stamp the images to create a shape of a wreath like my practice piece, but I'm also going to stamp the images outside the wreath. I already prepared my A2 size panel, which is 4¼ inch by 5½ inches out of Nina Solo White 80-pound cardstock. You can stamp the images directly onto A2 size top folding card base if you want to. Since I'm going to color my images with Copic markers, I'll be using alcohol marker friendly black ink. If you'd like your images to have more intense impressions, I recommend you to use alternate permanent black ink or Hero Arts Intense Black ink. If you prefer less intense black outlines, Memento Tuxedo Black ink will work for your project. I'm going to pull out my oval die and draw some guideline on an A2 size white panel by tracing the outside of the die using a pencil. If you don't have an oval die, you can draw the oval shape yourself. It's okay not to be perfect because you are going to erase it eventually. Just make sure you have enough room inside the oval frame for your sentiment. I'm going to place my panel inside the Mini Misty stamping tool and I'm using magnets to hold the paper in place. I'm pulling out my sentiments from the Simple Joy stamp set. Depending on the size of the oval frame, you can choose a bigger or smaller sentiment stamp. I'm going to ink up my stamps with black permanent ink. Then I'm closing the Misty cover to stamp the sentiments onto my paper. Since I didn't get a good impression, I'm going to stamp one more time to get a nice and intense impression. When I play with many stamps, I always use a plastic tray to store my stamps in one place. That way I can find my stamps quickly and I can also prevent from losing them while I'm working on my project. It can be a small tip for you, but believe me, this small tray is a game changer. I'm going to stamp the images along the guideline first. I'm also stamping the same images on sticky notes along the way to create masks. By the way, you could use ink-card masking paper if you want to. In my case, I prefer to use a post-it note along with a removable glue tape to hold the mask in place. I'm cutting out the image on the post-it note with my scissors. You can cut right on the line or even slightly inside of the line. I'm going to layer my post-it note mask over the stamped images using a removable glue tape, covering the images completely. Then I'm going to stamp my next images over the masks, positioning the images partially onto the masks. Once I have finished stamping of the images, I'm going to move the mask into different locations to stamp all over the rest. Masking technique is a great way to create the illusion of depth, especially when you create a one-layer card. Because the image you stamp first is in the foreground and the second image is partially behind the first image. Masking takes time, but once you remove all the masks, you can see the beauty of masking technique. I'm going to continue stamping and masking until I finish creating my entire background outside the oval frame. After my stamping is done, I'm going to remove the masks. You can always go back to stamping if you want to create a more busy background without gaps. I'm going to fill in the gaps with tiny stars from the Playful Animal Friends stamp set. Once I'm happy with my background, I'm going to erase the pencil line with an eraser. Now it's time for coloring. Here is my collection of Copic markers and I store them in a plastic container. My color inspiration came from a set of enamel dots from Pink Fresh December Days collection. I'm going to pick 6 or 7 primary colors from my Copic marker collection. I'm not going to do any serious blending but simple coloring to enhance the graphic look of my card design. You can add more shade if you want to achieve a realistic look of your images. I'm trying not to color the same color next to each other to balance my entire images. Having some gaps between the same color will please your eyes. Now I'm going to turn on some music and speed up the coloring process so you can watch me color, and I'll be back soon. I'll be mounting my colored panel onto A2 size top folding white card base with a glue tape. Then I'll be adding tiny dots to my images using a white gel pen to add some details to my card. That's all for today. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye bye!